Hi, it's Mrs. Clark, aka the Crazy Chicken Lady. And my chickens and I are here today to do a lesson on probability with you. But first, let me reintroduce my chickens. So for you fourth graders who were in Mrs. Givler's second grade class, you know the brown hens. This is Clever, Peck, and Brownie. And if you're a third grader who was in Mrs. Givler's second grade class, you know the white hens. And we have Eggy, Shelly, Cheeps, and Butters, short for butterscotch. Now, I know you guys are asking, whatever happened to that little chick that almost didn't live and had the one eye and the crossed beak? Well, here he is. Butters, get out of the way. There's Zoe. He's a rooster. You can see he still has just one eye and the crossed beak, and he's not the most attractive rooster, but he takes his rooster responsibilities very seriously. When we talk about probability, we're talking about chance events. What are the chances of something happening? If we put it on a number line, it makes it a little bit easier to understand. So you can see my number line goes from 0 to 1. So I want to pick white eggs out of a bucket. And in this bucket, I have 4 brown eggs. And I'm trying to figure out, well, what are the chances of picking a white egg? So what we're going to do is first write a probability ratio, which is a fraction, to help us figure this out. Well, there are 4 eggs, so our denominator is going to be 4. We don't have any white eggs in here, so our numerator is going to be 0. So this is telling us that the chances of picking a white egg are 0%. The term we use for that is impossible. It's impossible to pick a white egg from this bucket of brown eggs. I could pick all day long and I will never ever pick a white egg. However, in this bucket, I have 4 white eggs. And so I'm going to write my probability ratio for picking a white egg. Well, there's 4 eggs and 4 of them are white. So that means we have a ratio of 4 out of 4, which is the same thing as 1, which would be 100%. So the term we use for that is certain. It is certain that I'm going to pick a white egg. I can pick all day long, and every time I pick, I'm going to get a white egg. But this bucket has 2 white eggs and 2 brown eggs. Again, I want to figure out the chances of picking a white egg. I'm going to write my probability ratio. There's 4 eggs, 2 of them are white. So that gives me 2 over 4, which we know, if we simplify, is the same thing as a half. This means that I have a 50% chance of picking a white egg. And since we have a 50% chance, we're going to call that equally likely. So when I pick, half the time I'm going to pick a white egg, the other half of the time I'm going to pick a brown egg. So now I'm going to jazz things up a bit. This time I put 3 white eggs and 1 brown egg in the bucket. So that means my probability ratio is 3 out of 4 are white. And you can see I've divided my number line up into 4 equal sections. So the chances of me pulling a white egg out of this bucket are more likely because you can see we're above that 50%, above that half. So I'm more likely to pull a white egg. In this bucket, I still have 4 eggs, but this time only 1 of them is white. So my ratio for this one will be 4 as my denominator because there's 4 eggs, and 1 is my numerator because only 1 is white. So that gives me a 1 in 4 chance of picking a white egg. That means that it is less likely that I'll pick a white egg. All right, now we're ready for our probability experiment. So we're going to go back to this bucket over here that had the 3 white eggs out of the 4, where it's more likely that we're going to pick white eggs. But now we're actually going to predict how many times we're going to pull a white egg. Well, that's really simple to do. We're just going to use equivalent fractions. So if my probability ratio is 3/4, and I'm going to pick, say, 20 times, I'm going to rewrite this fraction as equivalent fraction. And I'm going to use what we call in my classroom Gabby's rule, because Gabby was the one who came up with this rule. And we know we multiplied 4 by 5 to get 20. So whatever we do to the bottom, we got to do to the top. So we're going to multiply by 3 times 5, and that's going to give us 15. So there's our prediction. I'm predicting that if I pick from that bucket 20 times, 15 of those times it'll be a white egg. All right, I'm ready to do my experiment. I'll be back to you when it's over. It worked! We picked the eggs for 20 times. 15 times it came out white, 5 times it came out brown. But don't take my word for it. You go ahead and do your own probability experiment at home. It doesn't have to be eggs. Be sure to ask your parents what you can use. Put 2 colors of something in a bucket, write your probability ratio, and then pick. But remember, the more picks you do, the more accurate your results will be. So 20 is an okay number, but if you can do bigger, like 50 or 100, go for it. I would love to hear about your probability experiments, so please let me know what you decide to do. That's it for now. We'll be back some other time. Stay safe and healthy. Bye. Come on, guys. Come here.